back, Last Request Barbecue Show, or should I say, a bon dia, because today we're making a Portuguese treat from our family archives, from the family recipe. Shout out to my great Portuguese in-laws and of course my wonderful, lovely wife who's born and raised in Portugal. So we are making Portuguese cinnamon pork. Now it's a 2-day cook. It's actually a pretty simple recipe, but day 1 is getting the pork ready and it marinates for 24 hours. Day 2 is cooking the pork. So it's pretty straightforward, but you do need 2 days. So we got a beautiful pork here. We've got all kinds of spices, of course, as you would imagine, cinnamon, and we've got wine, and we got all kinds of great things. Let's get started. All right, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is just inspect our pork here, make sure everything's cool. It's a good looking piece of pork. Now we're just gonna cut it into quarters, rough chop, so to speak. This one's got a nice big fat cap. Actually, I might trim off this fat cap a little bit. Don't really need that. Oh, that's a pretty big fat cap, actually. Yeah, we don't really need that, so let me trim that off. There we go. That one's good, well marbled, looking beautiful. This is a family favorite, let me tell you. So, like I said, you don't need to spend a ton of time on this cook, though you've got to budget in the 2 days. Bone right in here, see that? There we go. So we'll just cut around that. Yeah, so my in-laws were born and raised in the Azores, so came over here in the 70s with my wife. Of course, at that time she was a young girl, 3 or 4 years old, and never looked back. So I've been back to Portugal several times, actually. Not back to, but I visited. We went there on our honeymoon, and what a lovely country, lovely people, very hospitable. So I encourage anyone listening here, be sure and add it to whatever bucket list you have for traveling. Now you go to the islands, you go to the mainland. I've been to both. The mainland, of course, is Lisbon, which is a wonderful city, destroyed in a tidal wave a couple hundred years ago, but rebuilt. It is a happening city, to say the least. Food is amazing. Anything from a pork to classic chicken. Check out my recipes for the rotisserie chicken. So right now we've kind of done some butchering here, and we've got just the bone in. Not much left. There's a little bit. There we go. So let's throw our pork in here, which is also where our marinade is going to be, and then we're going to mix it all up, of course. Then it's going to sit for 24 hours, so you need to budget in a day. All right, now we need 1 cup of white wine, so I'm going to use, this is about 1 cup, a little bit of 13th Street. Should go very, very well. Actually, I don't need this glove either. There we go. This has got a little sparkling wine to add a bit of fun to it. Something different. Very good. Now we need some pimenta. So this is my father-in-law and mother-in-law make this. It is the most amazing stuff. Now you can go to your local grocery and get, if you don't have Portuguese in-laws, you can go and get some Portuguese pimenta, which is basically hot peppers ground up. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of that in here. 2 generous tablespoons of that. So it's got a little spice, got a little kick to it. Each year it's a little different. It's funny, every year they make it. The peppers change, right? So every year it's just a little bit different. Some years hotter than others. This year it's pretty hot. We're gonna put a couple cinnamon sticks, this being a cinnamon pork. A couple of cinnamon sticks. Put in 3. They're not too big. We're gonna put in smoked paprika, basically 2 tablespoons. There we go, that's about 2 tablespoons right there. We're gonna put in some red wine vinegar. 1 tablespoon. That much. Glug glug. We need some bay leaves. 1, 2. Let's put in 3 for good measure. I like the number 3. All right, and then we just add a little bit of kosher salt. So, yep, we're missing 1 thing, and that is, of course, some garlic. Pop these garlics open. There we go. Get some aromatics, as the chefs like to call it. What is this, 5? Yeah, about 5 cloves of garlic. There's our garlic. As I look at this, we could use a little more wine, actually. So I used 1. With this amount, I think I'm going to get another can of the wine because I want this covered. We got lots of pimenta and lots of other flavors in there, so that'll just go super well. I'm not worried about diluting in any way. Let's just get this all around. I want to make sure everything's covered. There we go. Everybody into the pool. All right. That's it. Now we cover, put in the fridge, 24 hours. I'm going to have a little bit of Portuguese cheese. So I met these great folks at the Ciel event, Lac Azores, and my wife is from the Azores, small island in the Azores, and they were kind enough to give me a bit of cheese. So check this out. Obviously, There's been already some munching going on. 2 types of cheese. So if you're looking for cheese, if you're looking for an amazing cheese, look for cheese from the Azores. It is fantastic cheese, you know, fresh, full of flavor. My goodness, it's good cheese. Cheers. Now I'm gonna make a recipe with this cheese in a pork loin. It'll just knock your socks off. Right now I'm enjoying a little cheese, a little break, before I start cooking dinner for tonight. Hey, again, so good. Azores cheese. Look for it. We are back. It's now day 2. Our pork has been sitting nicely in the refrigerator. Smells pretty amazing, even as it is. So really simple next step, though it does take some time. So what we want to do is get some onions going in, make them white translucent. We're going to take each piece out, brown it a bit, pour all the rest of the marinade in, and let it sit for about an hour and a half. So it does take a bit of time, so you do need to plan accordingly. All right, so let's just get our onions cut up and diced, and let's get them going. Now tonight, speaking of wine, I think, you know, typically with this, we don't go commercial. We have my father-in-law's red wine that he makes, so we're looking forward to that. And we have our ensemble cookware heating up nicely, which reminds me, let's put a bit of avocado. That's a bit of an inside joke. All right, there we go. We'll just get some onions cooked up and put in there. Turn them translucent, maybe add a bit of salt, but not too much. There's already lots of salt in this. All right, so our onions are ready and our pan is piping hot. So let's get out these chunks individually and sear them up. That's it. That's the sound I'm looking to hear. All right, we'll put all the rest in there. Okay, these pieces are where I want them, so let's just pour in this marinade. And now we're gonna turn this off to simmer for about an hour and a half. All right, so we've been cooking for about an hour and a half. Let's do the big reveal. Oh my goodness, it's looking amazing. It's cooked up, deliciously brown, ready to go. Look at that, delicious. Check that out. Delicious aromas. All right, we're having a Azorian dinner tonight. Our pork turned out just amazing. Check that out. So a little bit of pork, and these are Portuguese potatoes made by a true Portuguese person. So they're Portuguese. What's in these potatoes? What do you put? Olive oil?
Garlic, parsley,
paprika. Yeah, garlic, parsley, paprika. And then we've got some delicious fresh Ontario asparagus. And on that asparagus, a little bit of cheese from the Azores. So look for Azorian cheese. It is the best. I can attest to that. A little father-in-law homemade red wine. Bon appetit. How do you say that in Portuguese? What would you say in Portuguese? What greeting would we say in Portuguese?
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.